Hello viewers, me and team here. Welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls Part 7, Take 2. Yep, my recording software crashed on me during this and I didn't notice. Anyway, this is Part 7. Let's hope for luck in both the part and in the recording. There's pretty much one question I want to answer here. It was the only question that was asked of me in the last video, and that is the me and team, what is your favorite game of all time? And to be honest, viewers, I'm torn. There's a lot of games I like, actually, and they're pretty close in my book. Certainly, I would not have done yet another run through Heroes of Might and Magic 3 if I didn't enjoy it and put all that time into it. I love that game a lot. So that's something that I really like. Civ 4, despite its myriad of flaws, is still has the most strategic depth of any game I've played. So that gets a vote or a nomination for my favorite game of all time. Madden, I've been playing a lot of it lately. I don't know. It's fun in the competitive scene. I don't know if I'd call it my favorite though, so we'll avoid that, but I have been playing a lot of Madden. Recently I've been picking up Dota 2 and playing with actually one of you, my subscribers, who has been bringing me along nicely. I appreciate that. I'm getting better at the game gradually. You know, the big thing about the Defense of the Ancient series, and I loved Dota 1. I played a lot of Dota 1. It does have a bit of a learning curve. Now Dota 2 is significantly better in that it gives you some recommended item builds. And even if they might not be perfectly optimal in every case, really your early game items and your core items are usually reasonably solid. You know, so the game tells you what items to get. It has a great interface for how to buy them. You can actually buy things from a recipe, even if you're not familiar with the recipe yet. You don't have to find everything that way. You have nice you have nice trees of progressions for your recipes and through the user interface, and you can buy things right from that. So they made it a lot more accessible to beginners, although one thing they did that kind of screwed me is they changed how virtually every hero looks to a significant degree, and they altered their abilities to some extent in a lot of cases. You know, either things are slightly stronger or they got buffs or nerfs, so it's the same game but it isn't. And it's tough to lane press somebody or last hit confidently when you're being... the guy across from you, you really are not sure what he can do to you. That makes it a little tougher. And then there's just general rust from not playing for a few years. But Dota, and the Dota series in general, definitely one of my all-time favorites. And I also really like the Craft series. I was very big Warcraft 1, 2, and StarCraft. I played those games like crazy growing up. I played a lot of Warcraft 3 too, actually. I played a ton of that, to be fair. And I was a really annoying Night Elf player. I was not necessarily good, but I was pretty annoying. Then again, what Night Elf player wasn't? And StarCraft 2, I got into a reasonable amount. I mean, heck, I casted a fair amount of games here on my channel, so that is something I did enjoy. I just haven't played it nearly as much as I did the earlier games. Even though I think, as a game, it's at least as good, if not better, than the earlier RTS, even era adjusted. But anyway, we're in Senes Fortress now, and I can talk about Dark Souls somewhat, as we are through that part where I was foraging around with the blacksmith and marginally upgrading my crossbow, because I'm not going to upgrade anything else in the near future. So yes, Hidden Body allows me to run by the first couple guys. Hidden Body is also preventing a guy, or a snake woman thing, that's a little couple levels higher up, from shooting at me while I was down there. If you're a caster in Senes Fortress and you don't have Hidden Body or a fog ring, that first level is actually pretty difficult because this snake creature up here will shoot electric shots at you. And you have to deal with the guy in front of you, the electric shots, and the swinging saw blades, which they actually won't kill you in one hit themselves, but they'll knock you off and you'll die from the fall, so that you basically die if you get hit by them, usually. Anyway, for some reason this snake thing saw me, which is kind of annoying, but I do have the heals, and this is yet another reason you want to carry them for longer areas, such as Sinforce Fortress. Senes Fortress is long. No doubt about that. And for some reason, I guess she dropped aggro, so that gives me a chance to take some pot shots at her. Easy enough. That's that. And here's our second arrow trap, I guess. The first one is at the start of the fortress, and you can use it to kill the guards. Yep, But I could dodge that one simply by walking to the side. And here you see me doing something peculiar. I'm going to switch to my club and beat on this treasure chest, because I don't remember all of them. Yes, this game has mimics. And unlike some Final Fantasy mimics or whatever, which can be a tough enemy or, whatever, but if you open a mimic chest, you basically just get into a fight. No, if you open a mimic chest in Dark Souls and you don't have a lot of vitality, you die. It will kill you instantly. Or more like, not instantly. It will pick you up and bite you, and you'll take like multiple bite damages and die because it keeps going for a while. You have to be very tanky to survive that. And I was trying to get this snake here that I just watched fall to his idiot death to bust through the wall. But that didn't work out for me. I was going to show off that, because the way you're intended to do it is to go into the later in the level and make a rock break through that wall, and I could do that, but I don't feel like going back. And honestly, like, it's better to just use that snake guy, because if he does his bite attack and hits the wall, he'll break it, or even if his sword hits the wall in a certain way, he'll break it. Yeah, you die to that rock. You get crushed, son. But nope, he had to fall off on his own, so, whatever. We'll come back later, I guess. And I actually have recorded when I come back later, and it's significantly so, but I will show it off. Anyway, I've managed not to die so far. That's a plus. Taking a hit from the snake creature, but killing it all the same. Thorlum Talisman! I am so skillful with my mass healing. I have 10 Estus Flask plus 2, and 5 Thorlum Talisman heals. It's just silly. The rock comes down, but why not? I mean, I needed 1 point of faith and 5,000 souls to accomplish that, basically. Oh, a little bit more. I had to buy the heal spell. It was not an expensive investment for what it allows. And, if I ever want to be a complete jerkwad and sit there ganking people who invade, well, that spell's useful as a phantom. Wait, no, I mean, I'm going to help rookie players kill some bosses in cooperation. Yes, that is how I will use the heal spell. Shotel is an interesting weapon, what I just picked up there. The Shotel, its R2 attack will actually go through shields and hit enemies as if there's no shield at all. It's generally not useful for 2 reasons. One is that it doesn't do a lot of damage, so like the tankier guys can poise through it and trade blows with you and hurt you more than you can hurt them, which sucks. And anyone else who has a shield will just parry you. Even if they don't have a shield, if they have like a parrying dagger or something. Bare fist. You can parry with a bare fist, actually, for whatever reason. So ultimately, it's not as useful as you'd think it is because of the limited damage and its ability to be parried, but it's still an amusing change-up.
Oh, forgive me. I was absorbed in thought. I am Dietmar of Katarina. Quite honest. I've run flat up against a wall, or a ball to be precise. I'm afraid I'm a bit stuck with us running those things. So here I sit in quite a pickle, weighing my options, so to speak.
People have clipped through him and said he actually looks pretty thin, so maybe he's just referring to his armor, which does look a little bit ridiculous.
No charm.
But, all told, I like things that look ridiculous, and I like him as a character. He's one of Dark Souls' recurring characters, and you actually could meet up with him before I am. I didn't feel like showing it off because there wasn't really anything it would do for you. But he sits at the gate to Senes Fortress and can't get in. And he's like, still closed, still closed. Kind of like he is there. Yeah, I don't know why he wants to get into Senes Fortress, but he does, and there he sits. He wants to continue in Senes Fortress and can't, because apparently he does not have the sense of timing and decent speed to avoid getting absolutely destroyed by the ball. And you know what? I think most NPC phantoms, if they tried to run through this area, would in fact get crushed by the ball. Anyway, I pick up another ring, one I can actually use, because, well, I didn't have another ring slot there. No, I did. I decided to drop the blue tier stone because the ring of steel protection is physical defense all the time. And with my current setup, well, physical defense is useful. Here we have yet another trap, and you can either, like, turn around and block. The arrows come from behind. So you can turn around and block them, or you can just run like an idiot into the wall. I chose the idiot into the wall method, and of course I would. I mean, I do that as much as possible. So that gets the job done. We actually get to see the arrow trap kill a snake guardian, so that's helpful. And here you can run down or up. I'm running down because there's an item down here I want to get. If you run up, you have to have like a perfect sense of timing to get by before the next ball rolls down and kicks your ass, but whatever. We came down here instead. And I'm going to show off something I don't think a lot of people know. Well, some people know it, some people don't. But this is a mimic chest, and this is one I remember because it has an item in particular that I want. And if you throw a Lloyd's Talisman, yeah, you can actually get items out of a mimic chest without it attacking you. And so that's what I did. I didn't feel like dealing with it in this tight enclosed room here in Senes Fortress. So Lloyd's Talisman it is. We just get rid of that right then and there. And then wait for the elevator. And unfortunately it comes before that wears off. Notice the blood on this thing. If you stand on this after it takes you up here, it will pull you into a spike ceiling and do a lot of damage. I suppose if you're low it could kill you outright, which would really suck. So yeah, make sure to walk off of that elevator reasonably quickly. And so far so good here in Senes Fortress. We've made it pretty far, honestly. And I haven't died yet. That's pretty impressive considering I got Lolar owned by a Hollow Warrior in the Undead Burg while trying to parry it. And now here I am in Senes Fortress. So far, so good. And here we're up to the rock room. And this is where you can use the switch to push the boulder to break the wall from earlier, but I never do it that way, so I don't remember how to do it. I just want the rock going somewhere it won't bother me, so I push it over here. Good enough for me. We'll continue with the level after that. And to do so, you go through this room. Another trap, this one they come from the side, just step on it and walk back. If you walk forward, it'll hurt you badly. Hurt you very, very badly. You don't want that. And yes, now you're pretty high up. If you look down, you can actually see the beginning, which is pretty cool. But 4 of these things, and they're close, so just run through them all. I don't know if you want to try stopping in between those things. They'll probably knock you off and kill you. And considering that you would be dead from the fall from the first floor, you would be very dead from the fall from at this point, because we're much higher up. You're even more dead. You dead. Okay. So, more magic spam on these snake creatures. It really makes them more trivial than they should be. This area can be tough for a mage because of the traps and the enemies on the tight corridors and things shooting at you, and you don't have a lot of damage or poise. Or you don't have a lot of hit points or poise. But, you know, if you know what you're doing, it's not so bad. You know, wrap around and take out the snake and trade by getting hit by lightning. And another one of these swinging blade traps. And once again, you just want to run through. Pretty dangerous. And no! Oh! Blocked it. Viewers, I was so sure I was dead and... Man. Yeah. Yeah, I actually switched to heal and flask. That's great. That's great. But yeah, I was so sure I was dead there. Like, I just kind of desperation hit the block button. Like, maybe I'll live, but I don't think so. I'm probably dead, and I'm going to have to show this. And I was feeling pretty bad, because I was having a good run to this point. And yet somehow I managed to get that block off and survive. So we're going to continue on with Senes Fortress. Now this area you don't want to dally, because, well, you'll see in a minute, but if you dally, you get hit by a giant fireball rock thing, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. And you can see it down there, yeah, there's a big giant dude throwing that crap at you. You want to keep moving, basically. But I decided on a pit stop, yes. There is a bonfire in Senes Fortress. As far as I'm aware, this is the only bonfire in Senes Fortress, and it's hidden. You cannot get here any other way than dropping down from where I just did. And I actually picked up a humanity from killing enemies in the area. Anytime you kill a bunch of enemies when there's no area boss, you can get a humanity. Or, actually, you can get quite a bit of humanity, I believe, from doing that if you're really willing to grind. Not sure why I was going there. Yeah, just some more pointless derping. Can't have me do a Let's Play without some of that. And here, yes, this is the guy who has been making those rocks roll down the hill this whole time. Friggin' jerk. And despite appearances, that is an infinite supply of rocks. Don't know how that works, but it is. You know, You know how Solaire was talking about the whole world distortion dimension thing? Who am I to doubt? Anyway, just keep moving like I said. Avoid the death boulders. Because, well, I don't think they do kill you in one hit, but they rough you up pretty badly. And you then have a very short period of time to move before you are in fact killed. Here we have the crestfallen merchant.
I took on Senes Fortress alone, but I'm no different from those vile creatures. Ah, you think you're different? That you can handle it? Yes, I remember that. So, let me help you out.
What a negative Nancy. What a Debbie Downer. What an expensive item seller. Well, he doesn't have anything that I can particularly make use of with my current souls.
Nothing at all.
And I don't really use those defense rings anyway for elemental defense. So, I'll charge like a naked pig. Oh, no! Crap. I'm gonna fall to my death, aren't I? No, running into the wall. Where am I going? No! Oh, made it. Yes! Yet another close call on Senes Fortress. I nearly died in one of the stupidest ways possible. Feels like I'm in this tower back in Boletarian Palace. Fall down there by accident while trying to run up or down it quickly. I always feel like an ass that way. Anyway, you get to dodge Mist Lightning yet again. Yes, look at that pro mode dive. Charge me with a Flamberge and fail. So why did I bother coming down here? Well, because you get a cage key. Yes, this is necessary. There is a shortcut through... Well, it's not necessary, but it's necessary to open a shortcut that allows you to pass through Senes Fortress quickly. That is a very handy thing to have. You might as well get it. It's not that far out of the way, and it's not like the jump to get into this area is particularly difficult. You can make it in heavy armor with fat rolls. Fat rolls. Alright, so we're back up here again. We managed not to fall to our deaths. Always a plus if you can manage to attain not death. And we even make the jump back across, so we're in good shape. If you fail that jump, you actually don't die unless you're hurt pretty badly. Although the fall does damage you a fair amount, it will not kill you. And yes, this is where you use the cage key. So you unlock the shortcut, and you want to step in there quickly, and that'll take it down. And that actually puts it right next to the very first area with the saws at the very bottom of Senes. So you only have to run across that first platform, and you can get all the way up here in one go. Pretty handy shortcut, and I said this game has a lot of them. It's cool how they set it up that way. You can even see a lot of the swinging saws as you go up and down that shaft. But here we are. We are nearing the end of Senes Fortress. And one thing you want to do, definitely want to do not forget to do this unless you're speedrunning and you're avoiding it deliberately. Kill this guy. This guy is a friggin' ass. The way he works is, he's that guy who's been throwing fire boulders at us since we got to this top area. If you go into the boss room without killing him, he will throw fire boulders at the open area the entire time, making it extremely painful. And here I decide to start shooting crossbow bolts at him. You can trick him into melee attacking like crazy, getting tired and falling over, and you can walk out there and beat on him. That's how melee characters can take care of him. But I decided to go with a ranged approach. But I'm like, this is going to take too long. And I have the aim down, mostly. So I'll just adjust slightly and shoot him with great soul arrows. That's fine. I intend to use heavy soul arrows and great heavy soul arrows for the boss anyway, so I might as well make use of my great soul arrows to end this issue more quickly. That way we don't have to do another accelerated video with the drugstore theme or something else, like I had to do with the Hydra. He drops a Titanite chunk. Very nice. Who knows? I might actually use it in the future. Maybe. And alright, one last thing to do before taking on this boss. I almost walked off the edge there. Oh, and yet another stupid way to die. Yes, there's an NPC Phantom standing here. And that is Iron Tarkus. Iron Tarkus is one of the stronger NPCs relative to the boss that he's fighting. Along with Paladin Leroy, just because he fights such a weak boss. And sometimes Solaire is very helpful as well. So the NPC Phantoms are pretty useful for the most part. But Iron Tarkus definitely so. If you're just trying to beat the Iron Golem, you're tired of Senes Fortress, call his help. Call his help. Iron Tarkus will do the job for you. This guy shoots a blast of air, I dodge it, and we are off. Firing some great heavy soul arrows for decent damage. Not the best damage ever, but decent damage. And whoa, big axe. And somehow I actually blocked that. Notice that I actually stopped blocking for a moment to build back stamina and then timed his next swing and blocked it again. If I didn't do that, I would have eaten a ton of damage from that. But because I managed my stamina just barely well enough, I did avoid taking any damage at all from those two attacks. That's pretty important. With the time between those big or heavy attacks, you can avoid the damage if you can replenish enough stamina to block it again. Anyway, we're just going to run back and forth. Mostly let Iron Tarkus take care of the aggro and shoot him with heavy soul arrows and great heavy soul arrows. Or more like, mostly great heavy soul arrows and one heavy soul arrow. GG! Yep, a no damage run against Iron Tarkus. Nice. Too bad I didn't have a no damage run through Senes Fortress. But all told, I think I had a pretty solid run through Senes Fortress, because I didn't die. Yeah, and I made Senes Fortress look a lot easier than it is. If this is your first time running through it, it's going to be a little painful. So I bow to either Iron Tarkus or the Iron Golem. Whatever. Let's continue. Welcome to a cutscene. My character looks like he has elf ears on, sort of, now. Which just makes him look more ridiculous than he already did with the friggin' blue hair and crazy features. Oh well. We are being picked up by gargoyles that try to kill you later, so I don't know why they're helping us now. But here we go! Like, why wouldn't they just drop me here? I would die instantly. That's a pretty epic introduction for Bertonem. Anyway, here we are. We have beaten Senes Fortress and gotten to one of the more interesting areas in the game, in my opinion. Yes, viewers. Welcome to Anor Londo. Now we're getting into the serious business. This area houses my favorite boss fight, also probably the hardest boss fight in the game. And the level itself is not particularly shabby. Well, the one thing I don't like about the area is that it's a little too open relative to the enemy count for much of it. You'll see me walking over vast expanses of cityscape or whatever, or more like running across it and there just won't be anything to fight. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's one of the areas they could have afforded to put a few more enemies in, but whatever. And I am having a heck of a time dealing with this giant thing here, the giant defender of Anor Londo, and there are a ton of these guys. This is not my best opening as I glitch through the floor briefly. His shield is just taking all these hits. I guess it's a narrow corridor, I can't really get around the side. I do beta hit there and get a magic shot through there. So we're working at it. We're getting there. Nope. Hit the side of the shield. Hit the side of the shield. And yeah, that takes a lot of stamina. I cannot eat two of those necessarily. And man! I hit the shield again. This is just an awful showing. Hit the shield again. Failure number 8. Failure number 9. Fail, fail, fail. Eventually I just whip out the lightning spear, which is actually a reasonably solid weapon, to be honest. And just poke him a few times. Game over for the first giant in Anor Londo. Oy. These guys respawn. Oh, by the way, that fire giant thing does not respawn, but the other one that drops the boulders, he does. In Senes Fortress. So, 2 more. Yep, because I took on one so well. And I believe that's another mimic chest, although I'm not sure. So, I decided to throw in a Alluring Skull and then try to run by it, Lloyd's Talisman. But then I'm like, wait, they didn't react to the Alluring Skull. So I run the heck out of there because I don't want to die at this point. Especially not after being the Iron Golem. I think it just takes you back to the beginning of Anor Londo, but I don't want to risk that. Plus, there is a bonfire right here, and as you can see, I'm running through a lot of nothing to get to it. Pretty much uncontested. You get through one enemy in Anor Londo and you get a bonfire. Yes! If only it were always so easy. So I'm finally going to take something other than spell slots, and that is endurance. That way I can block better, run longer, and swing my attacks more often should I try to use my melee. Endurance is pretty much a generally handy thing to use and to have. So I'm going to take points in that. Then I guess I could just raise dex to improve my casting speed or something, but I don't know. I want to do more than just cast low tier spells all game at high dex. But that takes care of this part, viewers. Hope you're enjoying it. I'll see you in the next part. The Mean Team signing off.